Our sponsors: The Finkley Experience, HBCU First, The Jamal Bakes Morning Show, J&J Leadership Academy. Thank you for your contributions towards The Michael Finkley Show. Hello everybody, it's Michael Finkley with The Michael Finkley Show.
And I'm Nicole with Conversations with Nicole. You can join me Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on all of my streaming platforms.
Well, Nikki, don't forget about The Michael Finkley Show, Mondays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the CTR Media Network.
Join us.
Beautiful people, it's Major, my mama's favorite hope dealer, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show. Now that's Major.
I said this prayer, I pray.
There's a new familiar face this time. Say hello to the new daytime. See it everywhere you go. New and the greatest show. It's no other than the Michael Finkley Show. There is no other. He's like no other. I'm so glad that someone resonates with me. Come celebrate with me. Let's turn into
Welcome to the Michael Finkley Show. I'm very excited to be on location right here in Charlotte, North Carolina for this special guest. Now, it's been in the works for a while now, and I'm so excited to be in her home to be chatting with her. I'm telling you, she is Arthur. She's a wife. She's a mother. She's a grandmother. She's a financial coach, and the list continues to go on and on and on. But she's going to explain it all to you and so much more. Introducing Dr. Tomeka Lynch-Purcell.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Whenever somebody talks about me, I'm like, wow, that's me?
That's you.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Yes. And it has been in the works for a minute. So I am so glad that we have finally got together.
We're finally here.
We are. We're going to have some fun.
Oh, we're going to have some fun.
Yeah,
We're going to definitely have some fun. So I must ask, let's just reflect a little bit,
Okay.
right? Who are you?
Oh, gosh. I am a little girl from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So all of my Winston-Salem people, I'm from the Tray, Forsyth County, born and raised. Parents were tobacco, worked in the tobacco field at RJ Reynolds. Carver alumni. We're Yellow Jackets, go Yellow Jackets. So I started there. But had this thing in me that I wanted more for me. And I took a lot of wrong turns and ended up in a lot of bad places, and was able to kind of get my footing, and decided that I wanted to leave Winston-Salem after I'd had children, been in a couple marriages that didn't work. I think that I was just trying to find something to fulfill me. Because growing up, in a Baptist home, one of the things that you learn is that you needed to be married. Well, the way that once you need to graduate from high school, you needed to go to college. And if you didn't go to college, then you needed to work at RJ Reynolds, or you needed to work for the city. It was one of those things that was planned out for us. And you needed to be a wife. You needed to be married and have kids. And this is the life that we were told that we needed to have. Yes, I wanted some of those things, but I wanted them in a different way. Like I said, when you have a lot of things going on, when your parents split up, and you spend more time with, in my case, you spend more time with your mom and not with your father, then you start looking for what you're missing. And I think that that's where the marriages came. I felt like I didn't know who I was and what I actually wanted, but I still was reflecting on, you need to be a wife, you need to, have a husband. So if anybody asked me to marry him, I would just be like, okay, yeah. I don't even think I was saying yes. I was like, okay. So after I went through those things and that didn't fill me, I wasn't fulfilled in that. I was like, maybe it's because I'm living in Winston-Salem, so I got to leave Winston-Salem. So I did a detour and ended up living in Wilmington, North Carolina, and stayed there for a few years. And then ended up, the company that I worked for at the time was a great company, but I was the only Black person in the building. So that was only a matter of time before they were like, okay.
Right.
So ended up leaving from there, and the option that I had was either you're going to come back to Winston-Salem, and I knew that wasn't where I needed to be, or I was going to find another place to go. And my aunt, who lives in Charlotte, who had been living in Charlotte when we were growing up in Winston, I remember calling her on the phone and saying, hey, I want to come there. And she was like, yes, you can stay here for a while, but you got to get a job. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out what you're going to do. You can't stay here forever. Ended up coming here, I think in the early 2000s, found a great job. Had my kids here with me, and it's been up ever since there. A lot of downs in
Of
that,
course. Life
be life. Yes,
yep.
A lot of life happened. But I'm okay with it. At one point, I was ashamed of the life that was life and then, but now it's what I needed to be where I am now, because, I look at everything as preparation.
Of course.
So the things that was happening was preparing me for what it is that God was going to give me now. Yeah. So I'm thankful. I'm joyful. I'm learning now that when you're going through situations and trials are going on, I'm learning to be thankful for those trials instead of trying to get out of them quickly. Because I at this point, I'm like, okay, God, you are showing me something. You are preparing me for something. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna dance in the hallway until you open up the next door for me to go through. And that's made it a lot easier for me. But it's been a whole lot of work, a whole lot of support. He's blessed me with an amazing husband that has been supportive in every good decision, bad decision, whatever it is, right? All of the chaos and all of those things. He's been my support system. And I'm continuing to move. My main thing that I want to do is, I want to be Tab. Hey, Tab. I want to retire my husband from what he's doing. My husband has been giving his back to the world and everything that he does for many, many years. And it's time for him to come on home and relax and understand that, it's time to be a grandfather, a father, and then be a businessman, because he likes to get dressed up. So, we're going to push these companies to the limit of where God has, and we know he doesn't have any limits. So he's going to be able to be in one of these companies. So mark my word, as of today, the next time we talk, he's going to, if you ask me, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, he's good and retired.
There you go.
But that is what I'm working towards now.
I love it. I love it. You gave us a lot. You gave us a lot in that. And I want to go back. You said something about the lows, the highs, the lows, because life be life in that regard. What qualities of hardship you went through in your life got us to this point of now I have a heart of service and want to help others?
Man, I'm going to say a lot of bankruptcies, a lot of foreclosures. I slept in my car with my kids for about 6 months. And that was very, very difficult because it was failure full circle. It was failure right in your face. It was one of those things where you made a mistake on something and you can kind of, hide it. Nobody knows. No, it was a failure that you saw every day, because when you look in your back seat, you got blankets folded up back there. You got shoes, you got your life in the trunk, and all of the other stuff in the back seat. So that was full face failure. And where the transition is that my son asked me, Mom, is this where we live now? And it was a question of how do you answer this? Yeah. Do we live here? It's a yes, but do you want to tell your child, yes, we live in the car? And I remember him going to sleep, and it was cold, and putting the blankets on him, and then saying, because at the time my walk was not as strong as it is now. And I remember a prayer of, God, if you are who you say you are, you're going to get me out of this. This is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be here. And in doing so, I will never be here again. And I will teach your people to never be here. And it didn't happen in a day. It didn't happen in 3 days. but it happened. And when I got there, I was determined that I would make sure for anybody that would listen, that they would not have to sleep in their car. There would not be a time that they would have to go to the food bank and try to feed their kids. It was not going to be a time that you couldn't give a gift for a birthday, for Christmas, or for a holiday. And I've started that, and I will never stop that until God calls me home.
Wow. What keeps you going?
God, my family, and just, he says that we're supposed to have it here on earth. And I know we can. I know we will. So it's those things. Like I said, if I wake up, if God woke me up, that means that he still has a plan for me. There is still a purpose for me to do. And I'm going to continue to do it because I know what his blessings look like. And I want everybody to have it all because he says we can.
Yes, he does. He wants us to have it.
He does. He does. Even when you are not fully in tune with God, he still will pull you out and give you what you've been praying for if you just ask. So I stand on that. And because he's told me that this is my purpose. So I got to walk his purpose. It's so many people that I want to touch. I want to be able to bless. And I will continue to do so until he says, well done, my good and faithful servant.
Yeah, I love it. But more with Tomeka when we come back. And she talks about her forever honeymoon. Back in a moment.
To the side.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Micah Lee, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show.
I got lumps in the road, but I got too far to go, so I'm a I got myself.
Award-winning social media talk show by the CTR Media Network, hosted by Grammy-nominated artist Michael Finkley. It's The Michael Finkley Show, Mondays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the CTR Media Network. HBCU First. HBCU First Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. HBCU First is a student-led community advancing the well-being and economic participation of America's Black youth. As the leading HBCU internship and mentoring academy, we empower elite students from 70-plus historically Black colleges and universities with in-demand college-to-career skills. For more information, visit their website, www.hbcufirst.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Still chatting with my newest friend here, Honeymoon. Purcell. She's right here. She's right here. So let's back up. You mentioned marriage, and you did it a few times. How many times were you married?
I'm on my third.
On your third marriage.
I'm on my third. The first two was my choice. The third was his choice. And I think that's...
What do you mean by that?
So I think that in order, because as you know, I am God-driven, right? Everything that I do, because I know that every step and everything that I've done has been on this journey has been through God. So I realized, because, I mentioned that I was only trying to fill a void. So those they weren't for me. And the word says that when a man findeth, not when a woman findeth. So I look at that. I take that as what the word says. So that means to me is the gentleman that I chose before was who I was trying to find. And I'm not saying if any of those, gentlemen are listening, I'm not saying that it was, bad. It just wasn't what God had for me.
Right.
And I would always say, for my husband now, I would always say, I came to you and he had to check me one day. And he was like, you keep saying you found me. And he was like, I found you. And when he said it, I was like, no, that's a word. Not even realizing, no, that is the word. Yeah. So that is the word. So the marriages before were based off of lust and just trying to fill a void. This marriage today is based off of love and actually sacrifice and submission. There's just a huge difference in it. And I know that it was by God because, I got myself together and prepared myself to be a wife. And this is why I feel that God actually at that point brought that man to me. It wasn't someone that I was looking for. As we all say, women say, he wasn't my type. But he was God's type, and he was who God had for me, because he knew that it was going to put me in a position to be where I am today. Because I think in order to be successful in a lot of things, if you have a partner, that partner, you have to balance each other and support when one is doing one thing and all of those things. So with everything that I do, and I do a lot, he fits in. It's so funny because my husband does not like to take pictures. But when we say, when my assistant says, hey, we're going to have to take pictures, you got to take pictures too. What he says is, I'm doing this for my wife.
Gotcha.
And he does a lot of things in reference to the business and where we are now because he is supporting me. And that's the difference in our marriage. And I needed, just watching the world and watching society, we use divorce as an answer, and that's not what it's for. I think we forget, and that is the scripture of, we always say no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And we use that. You should use that for your marriage as well. It says no weapon formed. It doesn't say that it's not going to form. It just says it's not going to prosper.
Right.
So that's the same thing that is in marriage. When you are having difficult times, we have to remember that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, against principalities and wickedness and spiritual play. That's where that comes from. So you have to fight the spirit. You have to fight the demon and whatever's going on with the word.
Exactly.
And doing that has put me in a position where I love my husband like we just went on the first date that we went on. It doesn't go past, we're not past that. The butterflies that you used to get when you look down at your phone when they call and you see that name and you start smiling and you get all, what? Listen.
After 9 years, they're still there?
Oh, I love that man.
Oh, wow.
I love that man. And anybody that knows me is like, yeah, she love that man. But there's a difference in that. That man loves me.
Yeah. And
there has been relationships that have been one-sided, where you love them, but they don't really love you the same. You're giving 100% and they might be giving you 30%. It's a difference when God sends you your husband, because when he does and you are prepared, then we flow. When I'm down, he's not. So, I can't be down too long, and he will quickly say, listen, we're going to balance each other out. He lets me hijack his faith and he'll hijack mine if that's what needs to happen. So we fit. He's my him to my ha, however that works, with my yin to my yang.
Right. Right.
That's my man.
Are you still learning one another?
Every day. Every day. It's so weird how that works. What I find too is that our communication is starting to become so much better, bolder, bigger, wider, where we've gotten to a place where we don't, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong, we don't really worry about what the feeling is going to be when we're talking to you about something, because what we find is that whatever we're communicating about, we're going to figure out how to work through that together.
Gotcha.
So it might be something that he says to me that I don't like, and it's okay. I don't respond every time we have a conversation. We've gotten to the point where we don't argue, we disagree on things. There's a difference. Now, don't get me wrong. It ain't been times where we ain't argued, because we ain't been where we are now.
Right.
But, we disagree. We figure out, or, we hit that, we're going to agree to disagree on this. But now we try to figure out what the disagreement is and what our balance is, and how we can balance through it. We have a thing where if something is going on, we never call each other at work. We wait till we get home, and then we talk to each other about whatever that is. We have boundaries. We never get comfortable with each other. I think that's important. We never get too comfortable with each other, because I feel like when you get too comfortable, then you lose an amount of respect towards that person. Yeah. We're comfortable. Like we love each other. We spend a lot of time together, but it's not too much of a comfort level. We don't go past a certain thing. And I like that. At one point I used to be like, what that mean? So you're just not going to do and it's not. We just, we treat each other like we are boyfriend and girlfriend, but I carry that man's last name. And I tell people, like, listen, when you first met your man, you weren't using the bathroom with him like that in the beginning. You were like, no, it's boundaries. So we just keep those boundaries.
Gotcha.
We keep those boundaries. It's worked for us. I'm not saying that it doesn't work for other, it might not, work for other people, but it works for us.
Exactly.
And this is the thing that I try to tell couples: do what works for you. Don't do what works for me for your relationship, because they're not the same.
Exactly.
As we were saying before, perception. People think perception is reality. You're looking at people and you think that they're having a great relationship, but you don't know. They going home and they screaming and yelling at each other. You don't know what they're doing.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, focus on your relationship and what's going to better your relationship. Pay attention to your relationship. Pay attention to your partner. You can tell, my husband can tell, I can tell. If we're talking and I say something that touches a nerve, I see it. So in me, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna back up from that. I'm not gonna take advantage of that. And that's it. Watching, learning, paying attention to my husband and what he's doing, paying attention to what he likes. I've learned his love language. My husband loves touch. And at one point I didn't, I can touch him. And I always say to him, he'd be like, no, it's just cold in here. No, it's my touch that gives you the goosebumps.
Gotcha.
And I just pay attention to that.
Gotcha. I love that. And it sounds like you all are still in a honeymoon stage as well, a forever honeymoon. Oh my word. I think that's the name of your newest book. Oh my goodness. Please tell us about this book.
Oh my gosh. There's this saying that we used to get from people all the time when they would ask us, how long have you been married? We were like, we've been married 9 months, a year. They was like, you in the honeymoon stage. Yeah, I know you done heard that. People were like, you were in the honeymoon stage. Now when people ask me, they see us and they're like, oh my God, how long have you been married? We're like, 9 years. They was like, what? Yes, it is a forever honeymoon over here at our household. And it can be for every married couple, every person that's single, that's trying to be married. It's preparation. I can't say that enough. If you are preparing yourself for it, you're going to always be in this stage. It is crazy how much love I feel for my husband. And we're 9 years in. We're coming up on our 10th year in July of 2025. 10 years. And when I hear the garage door open, I am jumping up. If I'm on the phone with my sister, I gotta go. I'm going to go meet my husband. I'm going to go. And that's the part of sex. Again, you got to learn their love language and then you have to activate it. And this is how you get it. Like I said, my husband loves touch. He loves attention. He loves me being in his presence. So when he comes home, I make sure that I am. And I make sure that I look like somebody's wife when I go see him. Like, I could have had a crazy day, but I will brush my hair. I will throw on a little bit of foundation so that I look like I'm alive and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I go meet my husband because he deserves all of that. He doesn't deserve my downtime. He deserves to see me fresh.
I love it. I love it. Think fam, don't go away. We're going to talk more about Forever Honeymoon, and later she tells us her next biggest dream. Don't go away. Back in a moment.
This is Lester Spades. I'm hanging out with my man Michael Finkley, and I want y'all to lock in to this channel because you never know what stars are going to pop up, just like I did. So we don't want you to miss nothing. So make sure you keep it locked. Michael Finkley Show.
Looking for some of the best soul food right here in Mullen, South Carolina? I promise you. Come on down to Garden Alley.
Our grape salad's fabulous. Her water gate, her potato salad, her chicken is fresh. Macaroni and cheese is salted to perfection. I haven't found anything that's not great. Best one ever.
banana pudding, cakes, pies.
Yeah.
Selection is huge. Garden Alley is an awesome place to eat. I really love it.
Come by and see the amazing staff at Garden Alley, downtown Mullins.
So I must ask, in your book, you have a conference that goes along with it as well. So you have a book launch and you have a conference all coming up in the new year. Now tell us about this, please. There's a lot going on.
It is a lot going on. It is. Okay, so Forever Honeymoon book launches January 7th. I'm so excited about it. I am so excited about it. And then we have our Forever Honeymoon conference, marriage conference, that is going to follow right behind there. And it is January 10th and 11th. We have some really great speakers that are going to be there. My husband and I both will be there speaking as well. It is going to be, the conference is basically about rekindle, because it doesn't matter if you've been married 2 months, 9 months, 12 months, 50 years. It is about rekindling. It's about remembering why you were married before, because, you know, some of us get into our marriage and life's for us, and you forget, and a husband and wife in one, right, can forget that there was a time when you pursued your wife, you pursued your husband, you pursued that. So the conference is supposed to be our rekindling stage to remind them that you wanted this person at one point. And then remembering why they wanted them at that point. I'm excited about it because it's going to activate so much in couples as well as singles, because in it we want the singles to get themselves prepared for their husband or their wife. You have to be prepared. There is no way that you can be asking to be married, but then you're not really in a position to be married. There's a lot that comes with that. So we're going to be talking about that. We have some individuals that are newly engaged that will be hosting. And then we have a speaker who is single, preparing herself to be married. And then we're going to have all of our bigger couples that are going to be on the panel that have been married for 9 months. I think maybe a little less than. I think Real Talk Kim has been married maybe 6 months, going on 9 months. And then my husband and I, who will have been married 9 years. And then another panel who have been married, I think, 19 years.
I love it.
So it's going to be a whole breakdown of what marriage looks like, what that commitment looks like. But it is women who prepared themselves for marriage and understand what that looks like, and continues to have, they look at their husbands. I chose them just based on their fruit. How do you treat your spouse? You know, and when you're talking, it's one of those, you still have the puppy dog eyes when you're looking at your husband, and they have it when you look at you. That's important, because I think that marriage is big. Companionship is huge. So that's what we're doing. And in our book that launches January 7th, Forever Honeymoon, it is because I've been a person who has done it wrong so many times. And I'm doing it right. And I'm going to show you, okay, don't do that, because that don't work. Do this instead. And we talk about, in the book, we talk about communication. And we talk about the two main things that end why marriages end in divorce. I talk about finances. Because a lot of us get married and don't talk about what the money looks like and who's going to do this, who's paying for this. You don't talk about any of those things prior to marriage. So then when you get married and all of this stuff comes, you know, pouring down on you, you don't have a plan for that. So I talk about what that looks like and how to prepare yourself in reference to finances. And then I talk about intimacy, right? Because that is the big thing. Intimacy. And I tell people all the time, if you want to change your marriage, go home. Shut your bedroom door and don't come out until either of you can't talk.
I need to get married.
But we put those things, you know, and again, I'm driven by the word. And the word says, do not deprive your husband. You do not, you know, you're worried if you do that, there comes a time where he can be tempted. It's same vice versa. And so I'm like, if you want to, because it releases stress, it releases these endorphins that we are carrying. And that's what it's for. It's for you, that God knew that was going to happen between, you know, between couples, between husband and wives, that he knew that was there. And it will stifle a marriage. So I just think that if you want to be able to open up change in your marriage, don't talk. Just go to the bedroom, shut the door, and do not come out unless somebody is saying, you want me to get you some water, you need something to drink. This is, you release it all there. And the conference is going to be where we are allowing the couples to actually do just that. Like, we're going to make them interact with each other so that they can do the things that they are afraid to tell their spouse. We're going to have them write that down.
Gotcha.
Like, what is it that you want to tell your husband or your wife? What is it that you want to tell them that you haven't been able to do? What is it that you want to say to them? And that is one of the things that we're going to have them write down. But they're not going to open it up yet. But we want them to write it down. Like, what do you want from your husband? Intimacy-wise, what do you want? And I want them to write that down. And then I want them to pass it to their husband throughout while we're talking at the conference. And the reason for that is because their mind will shift to whatever is on that paper. You'll be listening, but you'll be focusing on, I want to do what's on the paper.
Right.
And that's the thing that we want. That is our homework session. This is what you're going to have to do. That's your homework. And I'm excited about it because intimacy is 90% of the marriage. I'm going to say intimacy is 85% of the marriage. And then the other 10% is going to be communication. And the other 5% is going to be your finances. You put all of those things in work, you got a great marriage. That's why I'm walking with one. I love it.
I love it. What do you say to the naysayers? They may look at your situation. They say, I want to go to the summit, but oh my gosh, she's been married 3 times. What can she tell me? What do you say to those individuals?
I really don't say much to them. I say that if that is the case, if you only focus on the past and not the present, then you're not ready to progress. Because I've never denied what my where I'm at and what my journey was. My journey has gotten me to where I am today. If you want to know how to mess up a marriage, I can tell you. If you want to know how to keep one, I can tell you that too. And I've gotten past naysayers because I think the way that you become an expert is based on your walk. It's the same way when you look at financial, individuals as myself who are financial coaches. How can you teach me anything about money if you've never been in a position to not have, you got to not have it to know how to be able to maintain it. It's the same thing that applies with marriage. You have had to make some mistakes in it. You have had to do it not work. And then you be like, okay, I'm gonna try this again and it not work. See, I love love. I want to be loved. I want to give love. And I made the mistakes of doing that. I chose wrong. And God knew what he had for me and what my role was to be in this. And this is why he brought my husband to me. And anybody that knows me, my friends, my family, all of them knows that what I have is genuine. It took work, but I was ready to give that work. I was ready to do that. So for all of the naysayers, I hate that I won't see you, but it doesn't stop me from being as happy as I am right now. So you don't have to show up, but it still doesn't change. Of course. That I'm in a wonderful 9-year marriage that I'm going to have again until God says it's time to go home. But I want everybody to have the love that I have. I know we want to be loved. So if that's you, then you need to get in the room. You need to pick up the book, and then you need to get in the room because we will be signing those books at the conference. So come have fun. It is a cocktail hour. We're going to be eating. We're going to be dancing. We are going to have a date. All of those couples, singles, whoever it is, you're going to come. We're going to have a date. It's a date night. And then the next day is going to be us talking about what we've done, how we've done it to stay where we are and to get where we are. So it's going to be fun, and then it's going to be a lesson. And I think that that's how this is going to work.
Oh, wow. I love the expectation.
Yeah.
I love it. Next, she tells us, what is her next biggest dream?
Hey, Jason Page, the voice of a generation, yeah. singing the Pokemon theme song, and you're watching the Michael Finkley Show. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know it's my destiny.
Hello everybody, it's Finkley from the Finkley Experience. We're an educational consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education. So we assist students with their college and career endeavors. We train school administrators on the state of first-generation students. And also, we partner with colleges and universities to assist their first-generation population for easy transition from high school to college. So if you're looking for a presenter or speaker that presents on these topics and so much more, visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com and learn about all that we do. We're looking forward to working with you.
Hi guys, welcome to Awaken. We wanted to serve the city of Mullins. We are church owned, and we felt like a coffee shop was such a huge need in the city of Mullins. There's nowhere for people to just come, get a cup of coffee, sit with friends, maybe do some work on the laptop. And so we feel like it was a service that we could give back to the city. Well, our hope is that people will feel calm, that they'll feel welcome, that it'll be a place where they can come and just clear their mind.
We come here twice a day. That's how good their smoothies, their coffee, their lattes, frappes, delicious. Oh, I love the atmosphere here. If I had time to come and just sit and relax, I would. It's awesome.
One thing that I really love about it being here is just the cozy environment. It's so inviting. I can come in here and I can get my schoolwork done, a good coffee and a good meal. But I'm just really thankful that they're here and that I have a good place to go.
We're open Tuesday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Awaken Coffee Bar, downtown Mullins.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny Lewis of Kenny Lewis and One Voice, and you're watching my boy Michael Finkley on the Michael Finkley Show.
Call on Jesus.
Doc, question of the season. What is your next biggest dream?
Well, first I want to say it is okay to have several dreams.
Of course.
You know, some of us be like, I just want this one. I have so many. I have several. But the one thing that is transpiring is Forever Honeymoon is going on tour. We are hoping that our next stop is going to be Greenville, South Carolina, but I want anybody that is listening to chime in. Where do you want us to be? Where you want change the most? And we're going to be there. That's where we're going to go. But my next thing is my shameless plug. Sorry, friend.
Let's go. That's why we're here.
Yes. I own a mortgage company. I am a mortgage lender, and I'm here to help anybody who really wants to own homes. So the name of my company is PMG Worldwide, and I made Worldwide only at the time because it sounded good. So I was like, oh, that sounds really good. Not realizing that God was going to actually bless my company to be worldwide. So we may have an opportunity to actually be in several other states.
You will have the opportunity.
Oh, come on and speak life to me. Thank you, friend. My new friend.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Right. So we will be in several other states. And it's more than ever. That was my dream. But you know, so many other things. You know, I have a bourbon line. I'm the first African American woman to have their own bourbon here in North Carolina, and it has really started taking off. And that's that thing where I told my husband I took your last name and turned it into a brand. So our bourbon is Purcellos 1789. PMG is Purcell Management Group. I really took his last name and turned it into a brand in everything that I do. So everything is being God-led, and it's just been a true blessing. I want to help everybody who's looking for it. If anybody is in a financial situation and you don't know how to pull yourself out, or you don't know which way to go, listen, I am here. My hand is always out to pull someone up out of whatever they're in. You just have to reach up. I'm going to grab your hand. You just have to reach to me. You have to reach out to me. I'm going to pull you wherever you need to be, and I'm going to educate you and show you how to stay where you are so that you can can then turn around and reach out and pick up the next person behind you.
That's what it's all about.
It is. It is. I need this for everybody.
Yes.
I want everybody to be rich. I want everybody to be wealthy. And I want everybody to be in love. I am. I want it for everybody. I don't want to say this ain't all for myself. I want it for everybody. Everybody. Like Oprah, you get married, you get love, you get money. Everybody.
Everybody. Everybody. Imagine a world with those things under their belts,
I
right?
know. Yes.
Oh my word. I love it all. Can you give us more details? How can we get our tickets for the summit, for the conference, and then also too, the book is coming out right before the conference as well.
Yes.
So how can we purchase?
So Forever Honeymoon tickets are on Eventbrite. You'll be able to find it on Eventbrite, Forever Honeymoon. We're actually, thank you, God, we are the number one. It's listed as the number one event in January for marriage and love relationships. So you'll be able to see. I know. I'm so excited about it. And you'll be able to find us our website, Forever Honeymoon. You can find it and be able to get tickets, or you can follow me. You can follow me on Facebook as Dr. Tomeka Lynch-Purcell.
You better say it.
I know. Like, God has really been in the blessing business with me. And, you hear people always say that God don't play about me. I used to didn't think that until now.
Oh, no.
Now I really think God don't play about me. Yeah, it is real. But
He died for you.
Yeah, what?
That's another conversation.
It is another conversation. It is. Or you can follow me on @Tomeka Purcell Official. We are launching everything on there. You'll be able to find it. Definitely follow me on that, because you'll be able to get some early bird tickets and some sales and all of those things. But listen, do not miss this. Do not miss this book. We're going to be on Amazon, anywhere online books are sold, Books A Million, Barnes and Nobles. We will be there. You'll be able to get our book, Forever Honeymoon. This book is absolutely phenomenal. It is personable. It's me talking to you. It's me in a book. Like, I had to put my spirit and personality in a book because I wanted people to read it and laugh and be like, let me turn to the next page. It is those things, because we're going to give you tips and advice and talk about those things that are going to help you maneuver your relationship. It ain't over until it's good. Yeah. So what I mean by that is your marriage is not over. It can't be over until it's good. Yeah. And that means you still have the ability and the opportunity to start your marriage over. You can do it. Like, my husband and I weren't at this place. We didn't look at each other. We just fuss and fight all the time. But we realized that we got married. You actually took the time, got your gown on, he got his tux on, y'all walked all the way down the aisle to get married. And when you got married, it was one of those till death do us part. So that means you have to remember, wait, what was it that had me put the dress on, put my tux on, and actually make me go and do it? If you get back there, you'll start looking at your spouse differently. You'll start looking at them differently. Listen, I'm married to the sexiest man in the world. Y'all ain't got to think he is. I do. That man is sexy. That's a sexy man of mine. And you can feel the same way. There is nothing like those butterflies that you used to have. I get those butterflies every time when the phone rings and I see it says hubby. I be like, I got to go. And I be like, hey, baby. Listen, that whole little girl come out of me. Not no doctor. I'm a little girl. My mom used to call me Mika. Mika comes out. That little girl comes out in it. And listen, everybody can be in love again. Yeah. You can be in love again. You just have to figure out what has stopped it. And coming to the marriage conference, we're going to ignite that passion that you had before. I cannot wait for it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited I'm going to get to see my husband look good. But two, I'm excited because I know that it is going to change some lives. It is going to change lives. And that is my purpose. That is my plan, to change lives. Yeah. So this is it. I'm excited. Forever Honeymoon, January 7th book is dropping, and our conference is January 10th and 11th. Get the book. Be in the room. You got to get there.
All right. Will you be signing books as well?
We will.
Okay.
We will. We're going to be signing books.
Get your book signed.
Yes, definitely get your book signed. And we're going to be giving away a couple of things. We're going to be giving away, we're going to be raffling off a weekend getaway for couples. Yes, because this is about the we're reigniting marriage. We are reigniting marriage, and this conference is to make the devil mad. And anybody that wants to be involved with making the devil mad, January 10th and 11th.
I love it.
January 10th and 11th.
Love it, love it, love it. So definitely all the information is in the description below, Fink fam. Thank you for being with us.
No, thank you for coming. I have enjoyed you so much. It was so much fun.
My new friend, y'all. My new friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please continue to do what you do, because I'm telling you, someone's been waiting for this.
Yeah.
And you are answered prayer for someone.
Yeah.
So thank you for answering the call.
Absolutely,
Thank
absolutely. I will not stop.
All right. Don't do it.
No.
Don't do it. All right. Thank you so much, Fink fam, for watching. And remember to always pursue your dreams. Have a good one.
It's my biggest dream come true. Oh my, it's my biggest dream come true. Oh my, it's my biggest dream come true. Oh my, it's my biggest dream come true. Dreaming every day and night as life passes by.